Hello, today's class is about general mycology. General mycology, that means the medical mycology, it is a branch of medical science that deals with the study of medically important fungi. Fungus is derived from a Greek word called myx, that means mushroom. How this fungus is different from the bacteria and other eukaryotes? Because this fungus is a eukaryotic and it has all the eukaryotic cell organelles like mitochondria. Along with that, it has a rigid cell wall which is composed of chitin, beta glucans, and other polysaccharide. Here, beta glucans is used for the diagnosis. Okay, the cell membrane of this of fungus contains ergosterol instead of cholesterol. Fungus could be unicellular or multicellular, and it does not have chlorophyll. Okay, and it can divide it by a sexual asexual means. If we classify the fungus, there are different type of classification. This is the first type of classification, which is based upon the morphology of the fungus. So it is the morphological classification. It goes like yeast like molds, and dimorphic. So what yeast look like? It is a round to oval cell that reproduce by the budding. You can see here it is a round to oval cell and it is reproducing by the budding, right? And the examples are Cryptococcus neoformans, Saccharomyces cerevisiae. Another type is yeast like. Here the yeast forming pseudohyphae. Here you can see this is the yeast, individual cell is the yeast, and they are producing a pseudohyphae. Why it is called pseudohyphae? Because they are not a true hyphae. You can see the true hyphae here. They are uh, they are branched, okay, and there is no constriction. So in pseudohyphae there will be a constriction, okay. Now the molds. These are the long branching filaments called hyphae. And these hyphae can be of two types, asepted hyphae and septed hyphae. What is mycelium? Mycelium, you can say that it's a kind of mesh, or it is a when the hyphae grow continuously and form a branching tangled mass of growth, it is called as mycelium. Okay. So a mycelium could be of two type, aerial mycelium, vegetative mycelium. What is aerial mycelium? It is a part of the mycelium which projects above the surface of the culture medium. What is vegetative mycelium? It is a part of the mycelium that grows on the surface of the culture. Okay. When you see the different type of culture on SDA, you'll come to know how it is aerial and how it is vegetative. Okay. So the fourth type is the dimorphic fungi. Uh, as the name implies, dimorphic. That means the two type of morphology. So it exists as a mold and it exists as a yeast. It is depend upon the temperature, and these are the example. Okay, the other classification is called as taxonomical classification. It is based on the production of sexual spores, and again it has got four types. That means the phylum Zygomycota, Ascomycota, Basidiomycota, and Deuteromycota. Okay, the last one is also called as fungi imperfect. Here the sexual state is either absent or unidentified. The first one, zygomota, the spores are called as zygospores and it has asepted hyphae. Examples are Rhizopus and Mucor. The second one is the spores are called as ascospore. They also have septed hyphae. Here in zygomota they are asepted. Here it is septed, and it is, the example is a aspergillus. Okay. The third one is basidiospore. Example is the cryptococcus. These are the type of the fungal spores. We have already seen the sexual spores, that means that these three. Now asexual spores, again they have divided into vegetative asexual spores and aerial asexual spores. Okay, you remember the mycelium, right? So arthrospore, blastospore, chlamydospore comes under vegetative. These are the example of aerial spores. Okay. Now, this is the third type of classification, which is based upon the fungal diseased. Okay, so it is further classified as superficial mycosis, which we will see in today's class, and it contains Taenia vesicolor, Taenia nigra, Pedra, and dermatophytosis. Okay, so today we will see only these three. There is a separate class for dermatophytosis. Okay, so Taenia vesicolor is caused by the Malassezia farfur, Taenia nigra, Hortae renki, Pydria, Trichosporon belgi, and Pydria hortae. Okay. So another is the subcutaneous mycosis. Here it is Mycetoma, sporotrichosis, chromoblastomycosis, and rhinosporodiosis. The systemic one is caused by the histoplasmosis, blastomycosis, coccidioidomycosis, and paracoccidioidomycosis. Okay. Then this is the opportunistic. Here it is candidiasis, cryptococcus, zygomycosis, aspergillosis, penicilliosis, pneumocystosis, and mycotoxicosis. This is caused by the toxins. Okay. Now, the lab diagnosis of the fungal disease. It is more or less very common for the every fungus. So, first we will take the specimen. Okay, what type of a specimen we are going to take? Again, it is depend upon the site of the infection. If it involves skin, then we will take the skin scraping. Okay, how to take the skin scraping? It is depend upon the type of the fungus involved. If it is dermatophyte, then we have to take the skin scraping from the edges. Okay, hair, nail, sputum, etc. Now, if it is this superficial, right? If it is systemic mycosis, the sample will be blood sample, cerebrospinal fluid. Now, after taking the sample, we can demonstrate the fungal filament directly in the sample. If we have taken a skin sample, okay, what we have to do? We have to keep it under KOH. What is KOH? It is potassium hydroxide. What happened in superficial fungal infection? They causes the infection in the keratinized tissue. Okay, and this KOH is helpful to dissolve this keratinized tissue and make free these fungal filaments. So if we observe these fungal filaments under the microscope, these filaments will be clearly seen. Okay, so only 10% KOH is required for the skin, whereas 20 to 40% KOH is required for the nail and hair, and the time is also varies. Okay, you can keep this 10% KOH for 30 minutes or 10 minutes for the skin sample, whereas for nail and hair, it especially for the nail, you have to keep it overnight. If you want to if you want to, if sometimes we have to give a report little urgent, so what we do, uh, we warm this KOH and put a nail in it. Okay, because the intention is to dissolve it, right? So KOH preparation, there are type of the samples: biopsy specimen, dissolve in 10% KOH in a test tube and examine after overnight incubation. It goes with the nail sample also. Now, glycerol. Why we add glycerol? To prevent this KOH from drying. You can add DMSO also. It will again help in the tissue digestion. Okay. Now, there is another there is another what you can say, another stain, which is also called as lacto LPCB. Okay, the full form is lactophenol cotton blue. Here, every ingredient is having their own function, right? Phenol acts as a disinfectant. Lactic acid acts as a preserver. The morphology of the fungi. Glycerol prevents drying, as we already know it, because we are adding it in a KOH preparation also, right? And cotton blue is used for the staining of the fungal filaments. Huh? Apart from LPCB 10% KOH, we can also use the gram stain. Here, the yeast and yeast like fungi appear as a gram positive burning yeast. And sometimes we use negative stains like India ink and Nigrosin stain. Okay, and the most commonly we use it for the Cryptococcus neoformans. We can use Calcofluor white stain also. It is more sensitive, as you can see here in this picture. It is very clearly visible, right? These hyphae are very clearly visible. So what happened here? This Calcofluor, it binds to cellulose and chitin of the fungal cell wall and fluorescence under UV light. Now, there are some histopathological stains. So, first one is periodic acid Schiff stain. It is, the color is magenta or the deep pink. Okay, the fungi will appear as a magenta or deep pink with a nuclei which is blue in color. Huh? And the problem with this stain is that it stain only live fungi. Then Mensen Fontana stain, it is also used for this phaeoid fungi. What is phaeoid fungi? The black fungus. Okay, you will see when you will read about different type of fungus, then you will come to know. Okay, hematoxylin eosin stain will also be used. Muciramin, again it is also used for Cryptosporidium and Rhinosporidium. Then GMS can be used. The positive point about this is it can be used for both live and dead fungi. Okay. Now the culture media. Fungus is the culture media for the fungus is SDA, commonly used. It is also known as Sabrots dextrose agar, and it contains 1% peptone and 4% dextrose. Its pH is little lower, okay, 5.6, but sometime it doesn't support some pathogenic fungus. So what we do, we use neutral SDA. It is also called as Emmons modification. Here we will change the quantity of dextrose. Okay, so if we change the quantity of dextrose, the pH will increase. Now there is another very commonly used media which is also called as corn meal agar or the rice starch agar. It is used for nutritionally deficient media, used for stimulation of chlamydospore production. There is another brain heart infusion agar and the blood agar. It is enriched media for the fastidious fungi like Cryptococcus histoplasma. Niger seed agar, bird seed agar, it is selective for the Cryptococcus. There is another called as chrome agar candida medium, selective as well as differential medium for speciation of candida. Now, what are the culture condition we have to maintain when we dealing with the fungus? Okay, the temperature. You already know that there is a type of fungi which is dimorphic. So, we have to keep the most of the fungi grow well at 25 to 30 degrees centigrade, except the dimorphic which will grow at 25 and at 37. Okay, now we have to take care of biological oxygen demand also. Then the incubation is 2 to 3 weeks. What does it mean? It means that we will not discard a fungal sample inoculated on the SDA agar till the 4 week. Okay, if after 4 week if there is no growth, then only we will consider as a negative sample. Negative sample for what? That means we will consider that there is no fungal infection. Okay, now we will add few antibiotics also in SDA. The first one is the cyclohexamide, chloramphenicol, gentamicin to inhibit the bacterial growth. Now, based on the macroscopic appearance of the colonies grown on the culture and microscopic appearance. Now, if we in a lab, when we deal with the fungus, we can assess the microscopic appearance also. The first one is the rate of the growth. There are few fungi who are the rapid grower, and they takes only less than 5 days to grow on the SDA. These are the saprophytes, yeast, and agents of opportunistic mycosis. There are the sometimes there are slow growers. They take 1 to 4 week. As I told you, we keep the sample up to the fourth week. Okay, so this is dermatophyte, agent of subcutaneous and systemic mycosis. Then we can look for the pigmentation on obverse surface as well as reverse side of the culture media. We can look the texture also. Here, the very important point is that we are not supposed to touch the colony. By looking at it, how it feels, then only we will decide whether it's a waxy, leathery, velvety, yeast like cottony, or powdery or granular. Okay. Now, when we see the colony, we can see the topography. What is topography? That means how the colony has grown over the surface, or you can say on the surface. It could have radial grooves, it is folded, or it is cribriform or verrucose. Okay. Now there is another method which is called as teased mount. What is LPCB teased mount? Here, what we can do, we will take the with a there is if you see in a fungal lab, the wires are of different type. Okay, one will be the straight wire, another one will be the hooked wire. It will not be a loop wire. Okay, so we will take out the fungus with this hooked wire. Okay, and put it on a glass slide, and along with the bifurcated needle we will tease it. What do you mean by tease it? We will try to separate this material which we have taken out from the SDA after the growth. Okay, and if we do it properly, we will able to see the morphology of fungus. Right. Okay, so it saves a lot. It saves a lot time sometimes in the lab. Now, identification is based upon the nature of hyphae. It is septate, aseptate, hyaline, phioid, narrow, white, so many type of there. Okay. Now there is another way to see the correct morphology. This is called the slide culture. It is a very famous method in fungal labs. Okay, so what happened in slide culture? Can you see? This is called the assembly. In assembly, there will be a petri dish. Okay, glass petri dish. There will be a bent glass rod. There will be a glass slide, two cover slips, and a square of SDA agar. Huh? It has to be cut from a SDA agar. Frequently we use SDA agar. Sometimes we use other agar also, depending upon the type of fungus we want to detect. So what we do here, what we do here, we autoclave this entire assembly, and after that we have already cut this. After autoclaving, we will do everything inside the hood. Okay, and we'll cut these squares from the media, and this square should be smaller than the cover slip. Can you see? The cover slip is this big and these squares are little smaller. Okay, and what we do, we take a straight wire and we'll take out the fungal filament from the SDA. Okay, and we'll stab it from we'll stab it on these four corners, 1 2 3 4, on both the side. Okay, and we'll keep it inside the incubator. One incubator is at 25 degrees centigrade, one is at room temperature. Sorry, this 25 will be called as room temperature incubator, another one will be at 37 degrees centigrade. Okay, and after few days this growth will be there, and what we will do, we'll take out this cover slip, put a LPCB, and will directly observe under the microscope. There is another method which is also called as cellophane tape mount. Here, we will put the cellophane tape on the colonies, put a LPCB on it, and will uh, see it under microscope. There is other method. For Candida, we do germ tube test. It is a routine test which we are doing in our labs. Okay, Dalmu plate culture, carbohydrate fermentation, and carbohydrate assimilation test are done. For dermatophyte hair perforation test, this also we do very routinely. Dermatophyte test medium, we use it, and dermatophyte identification medium, we are also using it. Now, urease test can be done for the fungi that produce urease enzyme, example Cryptococcus. Other method, immunological method. Okay, to detect antibody or antigen from the serum or other body fluids. Antibody detection can be done by ELISA, immunodiffusion test, agglutination test, complement fixation test, or we can detect the antigen by latex agglutination test for cryptococcal antigen from CSF. It is see, when the CSF sample will come, it is always an emergency and you have to give a confirmatory report. Okay, so we just don't wait for our culture to grow, our fungus to grow. We always go for this latex agglutination test. It is very helpful test. Okay, immunohistochemistry, detecting the antigen on cells of a tissue section. Other test, other modalities of identification of fungal is also there, like test of metabolites in a body fluid by gas liquid chromatography and demonstration delayed hypersensitivity. Skin test, we can do the skin test for all these fungus. Molecular method is PCR and DNA sequencing method, but these are very expensive method, labor intensive, so not very usually used. Okay, now antifungals, these are the some commonly used antifungals. Okay, so these antifungals are divided under following classes: polyenes, echinocandins, okay, trianozole, and all these are there. Okay, so these are antifungal agents, and they are uh, these agents are, we are using them routinely. Okay, so you can see that they have got their own mechanism and their uses. Hmm? So the superficial mycosis, right, as I told you, the first one, tinea vesicolor, it is also known as tyriasis vesicolor. The agent is Malaysia furfur, which is a lipophilic fungus. Flat, round, scaly patches of hypo and hyperpigmentation of skin, you can see here. Okay, these lesions are non-inflammatory and non-pruritic or rarely pruritic. The area rich in sebaceous gland, cheek, chest, or upper arms. Okay. These are the areas which are commonly involved. So another is the seborrheic dermatitis. Here, erythematous, pruritic, scaly lesions will be there, and this is also called as dandruff in adult and cradle cap in babies. And it is very severe in a patients who are having AIDS. Atopic dermatitis, folliculitis, disseminated infection. Okay. Lab diagnosis, as we have already discussed about the lab diagnosis. So here we are going to take the skin scraping because it is a superficial infection. Okay, we'll go for KOH, And what we will see here, mixture of budding yeast and short septate hyphae are seeing spaghetti and meatball appearance. Can you see here? See? Okay. Culture, we will use SDA with olive oil. Fried egg colonies will appear. A urease test will be positive. And we can go for the Woods lamp examination. It will give golden yellow fluorescence. Treatment, topical lotion. Okay, selenium sulfite shampoo, ketoconazole shampoo or cream, and terbinafine cream. Hmm. Tinea nigra. It is painless black non-scaly patches present on palm and sole, more common in female, which is caused by the Horsia ranki, and black colored is like fungus. Pytria. White nodules are formed on both hair shaft, which are less firmly attached. You can see here, right? It is caused by Trichosporon bulgi. It is also urease positive, yeast-like fungi. Produce creamy white colonies containing hyaline septate hyphae, intervening rectangular arthrospore. Okay. Pytria, black nodules, agent is Pydria horshei. This is pheoid fungus. Okay, reddish brown colonies containing dark brown thick septate hyphae with ascus containing ascospore. That's it. Thank you.